Quicker than a railway, moves like we hung on the decks. Glover hold the court and give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Gumbo Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news.
Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. How you doing, man?
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
That's right.
We got more than we can use. We got more than we can handle ourselves. We try to let it flow. Let it flow to the next person.
Yeah. We're proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
You're watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Business six hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse, dropping wisdom like Hova. Each word a joke. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to gains. Donnie the narrator, truth runs in veins. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. We got two icons with us today. Let's give it up.
Hey. What's up,
how
Ralph?
How you doing, Donnie? How you doing, Timmy?
I'm holding on for a young old dude, Ralph.
You looking good, man. Both of you guys are looking good, man.
Yeah, it's just coming from a PTA meeting, man.
Okay.
Well, you got to keep the camera still because you faking me out. Can you just set it stationary?
Yes, sir.
You're going to get me dizzy up in here.
Couldn't get my goddamn laptop, man. I couldn't get that to work tonight, man.
This is working. It's okay. It's okay. Ralph, where are you?
I'm at home in Canton, Ohio. Here, and last time we talked, Donnie, I was searching for a job. I landed a job here in Canton and doing really well. And so we're going to stick around in Canton because it was between Canton and going back to Cincinnati. So I'm staying in Canton. So.
Well, you have a great spirit, and the Almighty is always going to take care of His children. You know, something really special. You two were at an event. Ralph, you were at the event on Friday with Poly alumni. You did your event the next day, One Baltimore. And I cannot get over all of the people from both schools and beyond who came to both events. The Poly event was obviously much smaller and more segmented, but this is what you guys got to know. I went to Poly for 2 years and then to Dunbar for 2 years.
Right.
And while there were a couple of cats at Poly that made a slur or two about me going to Dunbar, I have since learned that Dunbar's value far exceeds what many people realize. But I also learned that Poly was the first school to integrate in Baltimore. Poly was chosen because of its academics. So you two represent two of the greatest years, 4 years in all, that I got a chance to come through Baltimore City Public Schools. And Ralph, I know you don't remember this, but I was a little teeny bop around My daddy had a funeral home at 712, 714 East North Avenue. And I first saw you at Cecil Kirk Wreck. I damn near got killed ran in that swimming pool. Can't help my head underwater.
Yeah, we had some times there, Cecil, and Timmy will tell you that was foreign territory for us from Lafayette Projects. We couldn't go up to Cecil too often, so we never left the projects hardly, especially during my age.
Yeah.
We always unless we were with Mr. Howe, and then we knew we were okay. But when we went up to Cecil, we always had to go up there in a pack. We couldn't go up there by ourselves, so. Timmy will tell you we never left Lafayette Projects without Mr. Howe or a bunch of people that protect us. And then back
Yeah.
then there was a bunch of people that protected our little butts from
And they was coming too.
yeah,
They
they
were
were coming.
coming.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were coming. And Donnie, I remember going in the Cecil Kirk Recreation Center for the first time. And they had Roger Dickens there, and that was when Roger and Gumby were really going. Brian Matthews were really going really well, and Cecil was just coming around because Duty had just started his program there. He hadn't really gotten going yet. He just started, and his first big player was Wingate and Truck. Those were his first two great players, was Wingate and Truck. So we got up there and we played them in a scrimmage game, and we knew they were going to be coming at some point. But we were so loaded back then, and we were not only loaded from our 18-year-olds, but we were loaded from our 18-year-olds all the way down to our 13 and under. So
Right.
we and Timmy will tell you we just played all the time and we had fun, man. We were wiffle ball champions and we were basketball champions because you go in the rec center when it's hot, you can't go outside. So
And see, I didn't know about Cecil like that because most of them guys was playing at St. Anne's,
right,
when I
right,
came through, right? And especially Brian. I remember Brian, I think we played either 10-12 or 12-14.
right,
And to be honest, I didn't know too much about say Chick Webb, Cecil Kurt as having ball players until as time went on, coming up through the 10-12, 12-14 or 15 and under, Cecil Kurt was just like you said, Ralph, was just, blossoming into a rec center that was trying to be reckoned with.
right.
But still, everything still went through even Madison or Lafayette,
Yep,
back then. No matter who was there at Cecil Kirk or St. Anne's, it still went through Madison or Lafayette
yep.
back
Hey,
then.
I got a question for you guys. Do you know? Bear with me a second.
John.
Before the news, where we uncover the truth in the heart of East Baltimore.
Oliver Recreation Center.
Who should we say?
Mm-hmm.
Coach,
That's John.
how are you, sir?
I'm all right, sir.
Don't get shy now.
I ain't getting shot beyond.
Tell people what you do. What's your claim to fame?
Baltimore City Community Activities.
Huh?
I coach. I work with kids. I work with youth.
How long you been coaching?
Over some years. How long you been playing? Well, soccer, of course.
Okay.
But mainly basketball.
Right. So what's the word in East Baltimore as it relates to sports and recreation for the young people?
Try to keep my game.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on positive notice.
Okay. So, but you surely have touched a lot of lives over the years, and surely some famous people even came through here, huh?
Well, let's put it this way. I don't take credit for it.
You know?
I don't. You one of them, I do not take credit for anything I do.
Okay. There you go, gentlemen. Who is that guy?
That's John Murdoch.
John Murdoch.
That's John Murdoch, who, if you talk about a guy who cared, that was a guy who cared. And
Yeah.
as crazy as he was, Timmy, as we all know him, right? He would do anything for kids.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
anything for kids.
And
You know?
and Ralph, Donnie, we touched on that with him with Donnie Joy and Jimmy Conyers on our last podcast. And I was, saying then, and I'll say it to the end, That was the only. I mean, Mr. Howard, all them guys, love them all. But John looked like he took it even a step further
Right.
by not only coming, to your house, but he was coming to your school.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was something that a lot of them guys they did do, and they did care. But
Right.
I guess it made me seem and feel a little different towards Murdoch was because he traveled by bus,
Yeah.
whereas the
Yeah.
rest of the coaches traveled by car.
Yep.
So that was a tremendous amount of pressure on him catching the bus from one side of the city to the other side.
No question. And I went to see the Wiz with him. He would take kids and take them to different places, and we went all the way out off of near Towson to watch the Wiz. I'll never
Uh,
forget that. That's who I saw the Wiz with the first time, with Diana Ross and Nipsey Russell and all them. He took us out
right.
there. But
Oh, okay.
when you talk about a guy who could tell you what you were doing in school and you didn't even know it. That's what you're talking about, Tim, because he would be like, if you don't get your butt right, I'm going over there and tell your mother. And my mom would hear from him, like, this is
Yeah.
what he's doing in school. He needs to do da da da. And she said, how you know? He said, I went down there and checked on him. I check on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was so amazing how he could just go through schools. Like today, they would be like putting them through security and everything. He just went through schools, went right to the issue, and said, "Hey, I'm here to talk about that." Because Mr. Lee used to practice at 102 where
And
Murdoch's gym
102.
was. Yep, where
Right.
his gym was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had not seen Murdoch in years, and that was great, Donnie. You did that because as soon as I heard the voice, I knew who
Mm-hmm.
that was. And when he
Oh
says,
yeah.
I don't take credit for nothing like that. That's all I can
And
remember.
and that's and that was him, Ralph.
Yeah,
He said that all the way up to the end and didn't want to be honored.
right,
And I found that, amazing because in the end, when he had his funeral, it was sad, man. It wasn't a lot of that Dunbar's auditorium should have been packed. It
right,
wasn't. It reminded me of when my great teammate Larry Gibson when he passed. That place should have been packed,
right,
but it wasn't. You know, and
right.
up until the end, he did not want his flowers while he was standing tall, and he
No,
stood tall no matter what people thought and felt about him. Man,
yep.
that guy, he cared about people, man.
That's all he cared about. And Donnie, when you showed Oliver Reck, Timmy will probably agree with me with this. The first name that comes to my mind was my first coach at the age of 8, and that was Bucky Lee. When I
Yeah,
talk about Oliver Reck, I talk about Bucky Lee. Because
and
Bucky
that's
Lee
the
was the
you're
first to
right.
put Oliver on the map. He was the
You're
first to
right.
put
Yeah, he right. He telling it. He telling like it is, Donnie.
yeah, he
Ralph
was the first. Because
Ralph
that was
is
my
telling you
dad's
like
friend.
it is.
That
Mm-hmm.
was my dad's friend, Donnie, and I go all the way back to Ralph J. Young with Bucky Lee at 8 years old. And I'm playing 10, 12 at 8 years old and going to practice every Friday night and getting up every morning. And Timmy talked about traveling by the bus. I traveled by the bus on Saturday morning to Patterson High School. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
played. Bucky didn't have no car. Bucky didn't have no
Yeah, that's right,
license.
Bucky. You right. Bucky didn't have a car.
Bucky didn't have a
You're
car.
right.
Bucky didn't have no license. So we all
Yeah,
get on the bus at the same time. We go to Patterson, walk to Patterson High School, and then play the game, and then get back on the bus and come on back home. And
yeah.
that's how it was. And I can
Mhm.
remember asking my dad, "Why you got me playing for him? He only have a car because I'm used to Mr. Lee, right? He only have a car." He said, "That's who you playing for, and you gonna stay there until you get old enough to go somewhere else." So I stayed there, and he taught me a lot. Taught me a lot, and that friendship between me and Bucky lasted his entire life. I mean, every
Yeah.
time I got home, I made it a point to go up to Oliver and see him and sit down and talk to him, and uh,
Mhm.
and always remember that phrase: "What you doing, man? What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do, man? How you doing,
And
man?"
and he was a character too, Donnie. He was a
Oh,
character, and if you wasn't playing to his standards, he would not only let you know. I seen him with my own four snatch the boy's jersey off his back,
yeah, 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 yeah,
snatch it off his back,
And give me
And
this, Timmy. You come on, man.
he was no nonsense. He was no nonsense. That was, I mean, and I had the pleasure to play for him just one time, Ralph, and that was unlimited.
Right, right.
And I said, "Damn, I'm glad that I didn't play for him as a youngster, man, because
Sure.
as a young old dude, I don't have to listen to your crap, man."
Yeah, yeah,
But that's
yeah.
just how he was.
Right. And he always, Donnie, would be like when I was 8, 10, 12, we ran so much, man. I put everything in my life from the point of 8 years old, how Bucky ran us up, Ralph J. Young. Could nobody be worse than that? As long as I kept thinking about nobody could be worse than Bucky, what he used to do to us at 10 years, 12 years old. I don't care what you do to me. You can run me all day. You ain't running me like Bucky Lee. And I've seen that same thing, Timmy, when I was sitting there with him one time. And there's always, the story's always, come on, man. You're not gonna do it my way, man. You got to get up out of my jersey, man. Go on about your business, man. And he would take somebody's jersey off of him
Take it,
and tell him
take
hit
it.
the road, hit the road.
So,
You got to do it my way.
and
I
that's
don't
how
know.
he was.
So let me fast forward this to today.
Okay.
Would that work today?
Today, for my point of view, no. These kids are so sensitive, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're sensitive. They're so sensitive that they'll leave you to go play with Ralph.
Yeah. Yeah. If you said that to them today, it wouldn't work
Oh,
today. Now let me tell you what will work today. You know, the at the younger ages, what the problem is, and this how I dealt with mine when they were younger. It's
mhm.
not the kids, it's the parents.
Parents,
It's
right.
the parents, Donnie. It's not the kids. And people were amazed at how I can remember me coaching my son when he was in the second grade. And I was real hard on him. I was teaching him left hand, right hand layups. And we happened to be in an elementary school gym. And one lady who ran the gym came in every week, sat down, watched practice. She didn't say a word. She would watch. She was in charge of the gym. She watched practice, and I'm on him. I'm on him like a high school coach. But on Saturday mornings when we warmed up, I had high school coaches looking at me going, Ralph, I got kids in my program can't make a left hand layup. You got kids
Mhm.
in second grade making left hand, right hand layups. And we were very good, but I knew the fundamentals is what we needed. But I would get on those kids for 2 hours and I'd be yelling and screaming. My wife would be embarrassed sometimes, like, why are you getting on them kids like that? And I was like, they know I love them. My nephew rode home with my father-in-law one night and was crying in the back seat. And my nephew said to my father-in-law, why does he get on us so hard like that? And my father-in-law said, because he loves you. He loves you.
Mhm.
He wouldn't be doing it if he didn't love you. But here's the story of it, Donnie. So I'm sitting there, I'm going through practice. I have no idea. We're going through practice, and it's a normal practice for us. And
I guess he'll come back in.
Yeah, yeah, but like I say, man, it wouldn't work today, not at all. Because you talking about hurting little Ray Ray's feelings, and then it goes to the parent. Then the parent steps in, and a lot of times the trying to live a dream through a kid who,
Reliving their own life,
oh heck
vicariously
yeah,
through the child.
heck yeah, and then the mom who don't have the dad there, so now the stepdad he becomes the street agent. That's all that they are, unlicensed street agents, man. And it makes the young child not to fulfill some of the obligations of being an athlete, not a basketball player, an athlete. And to see how it has ruined a lot of kids who did not make it, that had the potentials to make it and didn't because of so many hands on, it's ridiculous, man. And I
sorry about
understand what Ralph was doing because number one, it made each child, including his own,
better.
become a good athlete.
Yep.
Because we, as looking back, look at all the things that he taught that a lot of us didn't get taught at a younger age. He was teaching them as a baby.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, he tell them, Ralph, I mean, for me, it
Yeah.
was older learning how to make a left and a right,
Yep.
you
And
know.
they all became very good players in high school because that was my
You
goal.
were making a point, Ralph, before you went out.
Yeah. Well, she said, "Why is he yelling at those kids like that?" And the lady who runs the gym looks up and said, "Him?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, that's Ralph. They all love him. They don't even worry about it. You just sit here and enjoy and watch the practice. You'll see them do things that kids their age don't do."
Yeah.
And she was telling me the story. She said the lady sat there for about 10 minutes. And the lady said, turned around to her and said, "Wow. I've never seen anything like this before." She goes, and it was white and black kids. So it wasn't that the fact it was all black kids, it was white and black kids. And she was like, I never saw. So after practice, she stays there and she comes over to me. She said, "Mister, can I say something to you for?" I said, "Sure. How you doing?" She said, "Fine." She said, "I've never seen anything like this in my life." I said, "Well, it's trying to make a difference with kids, and these kids will be exceptional kids if they continue to do that." But the moral of this story is I talked about parents. I never had a problem with parents because I would tell the parents, if you want to know if your kid's playing and why he's not starting and doing all this, come to practice. Sit in
Mhm.
practice. You'll see why he's not starting. I never had a problem with parents growing up. So
Ralph,
I
I
mean,
got to jump in. Look, I just started a doctoral program. We're looking at management and organization, and you're
right,
talking about some motivation
mm,
theory here.
right, right. Yeah.
And now this is 2025. I imagine. What year was that you were coaching the kids?
This was back in 2005 and six. And let me tell you why I got to where I was with this. A doctor told me this. And when he told me this, my son was he was in the first grade playing for the doctor. And he said to me, "Ralph, you're getting ready to take over coaching these guys." I said, "Yeah." He was a pediatrician. I said, "Yeah, Tip." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Ralph, kids are like a whiteboard. What they don't know, they don't know. The only thing they know is when we tell them what is right and what is wrong. So if you're going to coach them like they're high school kids because they don't know the difference. They don't know you're not supposed to make a left hand layup in the second grade. They don't know that. They don't know you're not supposed to be able to do it with both hands and drop step and do all the crossover drills and everything. They don't know that. That's how simple that was, Donnie. Then when I heard that message, I was like, yeah, he's so right. Because we all set their minds as they're growing up on what the limitations are. But in basketball, there is no limitations. When you're in the second grade, you always hear about these phenoms. What do phenoms do? They step outside the norm. They don't do what everybody else do because nobody's telling them, or whoever's guiding them is not telling them what they can't do. What they trying to do is get them to do something that nobody else does. I had high school coaches come to watch us warm up on Saturday mornings to play our games. Well, obviously we were winning games by tons of points, but just to watch us warm up, come out. First of all, I would bring them in the gym. I give them the biggest bag I could find and put all their clothes in there. And the rule was, if you get out of that car and mom or dad's carrying that bag, you ain't playing today. So here they come dragging their bags in. They got the bags, dragging their bags in, put them down. They change their clothes, put on their warm up. They get out there, they do their things. And I learned this from Dunbar. Part of the game of basketball is how you look when you warm up. When I grew up, Dunbar would come out and they would do this three-line drill. And Timmy, you'll remember this, where they just pass the ball back and forth. It's three lines: first team, second team, third team. And they just passed the ball back, and it was so sweet. And it always made the other team down the other end stop and look. And that was already that was starting intimidation right then and
It,
there. And then they throw it off the backboard, they
off the
tap the
backboard.
backboard,
We
right? They
we
tap it off.
started that.
Yeah,
Dunbar started that, Donnie.
Dunbar. Yeah,
Off the
Donnie,
backboard.
off the backboard.
Dunbar started that.
Then they break down, then they get
We
all
call that
spread out.
innovation.
That's right.
Innovation.
More innovation.
Hey, and they spread out Timmy, and everybody stand there, and somebody half court had the ball, and they go whoop whoop, and everybody's doing all. Man, I learned all that when I was a kid. When I was 10, 11, 9 years old, watching them. That's what my kids were doing when they warmed up. They were doing that. Then we roll the ball on the floor. They all hit the floor, get up, and come run in the huddle, and then we go do our layups and do everything else. But it's about kids. And one thing I tell young coaches, Stop trying to tell them what they can't do. Teach them what you want them to do. And if
Well,
you do that,
I got to jump in on that very note. I got to ask you, Ralph, because I've talked with Timmy about this. I told you I transferred from Poly to go to Dunbar. That was get there 81, 83. And what I didn't know, I went into the Poet Garden. Woo!
yeah,
Go Poets, go! Woo! Shake that thing. The
right,
cheerleaders, oh my God.
right.
But then one day, I heard that Poly beat Dunbar in basketball.
That didn't happen when I was there. We came close. We came close. The year they won the national championship, they beat us 42-31. And the reason you don't hear a lot about that game is because that night out at Towson, Calvert Hall was playing Cardinal Gibbons, and it was a huge game in the Catholic League. And we walked into Dunbar my senior year, and Mr. Wade will tell you that story. And they beat us 42-31.
Mhm.
And I controlled every aspect of that game. I wouldn't let Muggs and them get going. If it was 3-on-1 break, I break it up. Mr. Howe happened to be sitting on the front row, and we were warming up, Timmy, and I'm going back to the back of the layup line to get the rebound, and he's sitting there. He said, "Hey, baby, I love you. It's gonna be rough on you tonight, though, baby. It's gonna be rough. You know how Mr. Howe was. It's
Yeah,
gonna be rough
yeah.
on you, baby. I love you, baby." And by the end of the game, he was like, "I never seen nothing like it in my life." He told me, he said, "I've never seen anybody come here and control the game in this building like you controlled 42-31. Now, fast forward to the last 10 years when Poly beat Dunbar. I'm like you, Donnie. I couldn't believe it. But I did see Sam in Dayton, Ohio, in one of the top tournaments in the country. I walked in and my team was playing, and I didn't even know he was going to be there. So I went in there and saw it, and I was like, man, and I got behind the bench and started helping and everything. And after the game, uh, Sam, who's great, who did a great job at Poly, comes out, and I said to him, I said, let me tell you something, man. He looked at me, he said, who are you? I said, I'm going to tell you this. You ever come to Ohio and you don't call me and tell me you in Ohio, and you bring in my school to Dayton and I live in Cincinnati, we're going to have a problem. He said, who are you? I said, I'm one of the players that made this program, man. I was one of the ones that changed people going to Poly. He was like, well, Bucky Kimmett only told me about two guys. He said, what did he tell you? He said, the two best guys he ever coached. He said, one was Freeman, and you ain't Spoon, and the other one was Ralph Lee. And I looked at him, I said, I'm in the flesh. And he looked at me, he said, no way. He said, oh my God, I apologize. I said, yeah, what you doing up here? You bring my squad up here, you don't tell me? So he had me go in and talk to the kids a little bit. None of them knew who I was. They some of them had heard, the coaches had heard of me, but none of them knew. But I did get the pleasure of sitting next to Freeman, uh, Timmy, if you remember 2 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, when Zion was at Duke and they had the Michigan State, Duke, LSU, final Elite Eight in DC and Virginia
Hmm.
Tech. And I sat down and I'm sitting next to Smiley, my brother, and
Hmm.
my brother's talking to this kid next to him on the other side. Now I don't know who Spoon is from anybody, right? So my brother looks over to me and says, "You don't know who this is, do you?" I said, "No, I don't." He looked at Spoon and said, "Spoon, you don't know who this is, do you?" He said, "You two dummies, y'all are the best two players in college in Poly's basketball history." And he said, "That's your brother, Smiley?" He said, "Yeah, that's my brother." I said, "That's Spoon?" He said, "Yeah, that's Spoon." Man, we
Right.
switched seats, man. We talked for a long time, man. And it was a pleasure to talk to him, man, because I had never talked to him before. I watched him in the NFL, done all that, but I never talked to him. And we shared Bucky Kimmett stories and talked about that. Um, it was just great. It was great.
Now, now, Ralph, I'm gonna piggyback on what you said about, you couldn't believe Poly beating Dunbar. Think about this. When they tore LA down,
Hmm.
that was the beginning in the losing of a basketball, as you say, farm system,
Yeah,
you know, to Dunbar. And then you add Somerset along with it.
yeah,
But Lafayette, when they tore those projects down, they tore down history, man.
Yeah, they tore down
You
history. Yep.
know, it's a lot of and Donnie, you talking to one of LA's finest right here, Ralph Lee. And all of them guys, believe me, not only was great basketball players, but great human beings, man.
Yeah.
Look at how he took time to teach. He was teaching when he was teaching them kids, man. And what I listened to and took most about it was how he molded kids that probably would never even picked up a basketball
Yep. Yep.
and
Let me,
had them to be great ball players. As he said, they was great ball players
Yep.
finishing up in school. Whether they went to college or not,
Yep.
that didn't matter. He taught, and after being taught the right way coming up himself, that's giving back, man.
Yep.
let me ask you, Timmy. Last time I saw you was over at Cloverdale. Now, Ralph, I gotta tell you, before going to Dunbar, my knowledge of Baltimore basketball, other than my 13 and under jersey from Easterwood Park,
Okay.
was limited. I knew by the age of 13 that basketball wasn't going to be my ticket out of West Baltimore. But you both understand the give back and the Poly event, Timmy's event, and then Cloverdale. I got a chance to learn not just about 85-year-old JoJo Parker and other people that I didn't know, but I got a chance to see the family, the Baltimore basketball family, and royalty. Maybe royalty is a better way of phrasing it. Who are still right here. So Timmy, tell me about Cloverdale, the event we went to.
Cloverdale, Ralph, they've been doing over at least 50 years, something like that. And they do a Memorial Day and a Labor Day. And up until the early 2000 was when I didn't even know. I didn't know that they were giving these events twice a year. And once we started doing, our cookouts, some of the guys like, Earl Gardner, Walt Leslie, and, they would say, man, can you, pass the word that we have now our cookout? Oh, fine. That's no problem. That's what we do
Right.
because we all won Baltimore. And that's one thing that sadly to say, even right now, there's still some people who just don't get it. And you don't know who may come through. And surprisingly, Ralph, he came back a second time, Mr. Parker.
Yeah.
JoJo
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah. Joe. Yeah.
Getting him one time
Is
took me 20 years
right.
to
Right.
do that.
Right.
You got
To
a
Time to
get
lot.
him to
cement
come
together.
to another event in the
Yeah.
same year,
That's big. It's big.
but now he understands and he sees the love that people were showing him.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been telling them all along. Joe, they not just want to talk to you, they just want to touch you, man.
Right. They want to see you. That's all
They
they
want
want
to
to see.
see you, man.
Yeah.
And now I think he may come out, and he might not. He may come out once again.
Yeah. He
And
will.
I'm
He will.
hoping that he does because he's getting his flowers now.
Right.
And he would never have to worry about how people thought of him.
No.
Let
You
me tell
know.
you something else I learned, Ralph. Now, I've known this man since I started at Morehouse back in 83. Dr. Warren Heyman.
Okay. Warren Heyman. Yep.
Dr. Warren Heyman is East Side certified and West Side certified. He runs Cloverdale and he runs the Dunbar board of directors or something. He's on a board on a collegiate level. He's on a board of regents at Morgan And then on the west side, he's in Coppin's Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Ralph, 93 years old, running the Cloverdale Labor Day cookout.
Wow. Wow.
And Ralph, it took me up until recent years. I heard of Dr. Heyman till I physically saw him. And then when I started going to our alumni meetings, when I was being, into that a whole lot more than I am now. And when I saw him, I still didn't understand that he wasn't a poet.
Right,
And then I
right,
don't
right.
know, we was conversating somebody, man. And they
Douglas,
say, Dr. Heyman, he ain't go to Dunbar. I said, well, where he go then? They
Douglas,
said, he went to Douglas. I
Oh,
said, man, good thing I ain't put no money. I lost my money, man.
wow.
Be- because seeing him at the meeting that you would think he had no business being there,
especially
and he's
Dunbar.
on the board.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's on the board.
Yeah. And that tells you how great he is. It tells you
Yes,
just how
Hey,
great he
that
is.
part. That
It
part.
tells you how great he is. He's great. And
yeah.
I remember him
West
at
Side don't get no
Cloverdale.
certification in East Baltimore to run these awesome
Not
But
like
games.
he
that.
but he
Not like
does.
that.
Not like that, but he does because I remember going
Yeah.
up there. My dad knew Cloverdale way before I did. I didn't know any. I just drive by Cloverdale, didn't pay any attention on the bus. Drive by coming from my Montgomery Mall, never knew. And my dad grabbed me one time and said, "Listen, you have to go over here and you have to watch this games over Cloverdale." I said, "Where is Cloverdale?" He said, "Cloverdale's over there near Mondawmin." And it took me twice to go by it before I realized
So
I just
miss it.
went by it. Yeah, I missed it. And he said, "You need to." He said, if you're gonna make a name for yourself in this city, you can make it there." And I said, "Really?" I said, "The dome is all I need." He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know you don't need nothing else but the dome, but it'd be nice if you would go play over there a couple times." So with
Was he
Fat
right?
Greg, he was absolutely right because he did it. I was only following what my dad did. He did it.
And
He was
Donnie,
in that club over there.
his father, Ralph Sr., could play. I had the honor to
Tell me the
play with him.
story. I haven't heard this.
Oh, well, you ain't heard all the stories of East Baltimore either, right?
Right.
The Can't Concern crew with the Dick Kelly, the Jimmy Fowles, the Ralph Tree Lee,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Hansy Moore,
Yep.
uh,
Helicopter Hayes. Remember
Hayes,
helicopter? Helicopter came from Morgan, played with him one year.
Rodney Floyd,
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh,
Bobby Stanley.
Bob
Bobby.
Stanley. Man,
Yep.
rest in peace, Bob.
Yep.
I had the honor
Y'all should put this
to
stuff in a book,
play
Ralph.
with his dad. His dad, all of the years before I found that out, I thought he was from East Baltimore
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
I found out he was from out
Tulsa.
east, but East Towson,
Tulsa. Yeah. East Tulsa.
not
Yeah.
East
Born and raised.
Baltimore, East Towson.
And Donnie, here's the little nugget for both of you. And
Tough
Timmy knows
man,
this.
tough.
Timmy knows this. My dad was not the leading scorer in my family. And it was not Kirk Lee either.
Your mom?
Not my mom. My uncle,
Oh yeah,
Teddy,
Ted
Teddy
Walker.
Walker, is my uncle. My true uncle is my mom's brother. At Towson Catholic, averaged 34 points a game as a sophomore. When I told him Skip was there that day, Timmy, I said, Skip
Mhm.
right over there. He said, I ain't gonna say nothing to him. He know I give him 30 right now. I give him 30 right now.
Mhm.
But I'll throw this nugget to you. In East Towson, there was a guy by the name of Kenny Johnson, who's related to me, a guy by the name of Teddy Walker, a guy by the name of Tony Guy, all related to us. We're all related because we're all from that area. We're all related. Think about that now. Kirk Lee, Ralph Lee, Smiley, Ralph Lee Sr., Kenny Johnson, Tony Guy, Kenny Johnson that went to Loyola, ended up in Virginia playing with Ralph Sampson, Keith Goody, whose family is from there as well. So just to give you an idea how close knit East Towson was, That's how. And then Joe Carr. Remember Joe
Still
Carr?
is. Still is. Don't leave that out. It's
Yeah,
still tight
still
out there.
is. It's tight. And Donnie, I'm from my family is from East Towson. Most people didn't know that we moved to East Baltimore. My mom was the first one to move to East Baltimore out of the family, but Theodore was from there, and Teddy. Conyers did not even know that Teddy was my my mother's brother. He called my mom on the phone and was like, "Oh man, they talk about Ralph Lee out there, Ralph Lee, this, that, and the other. But I know Teddy Walker was the man out there." And my mom goes, "That was my brother. That's my
And
brother."
see, I didn't know that until, some years ago myself, right?
Right,
When they said,
right.
uh, that's Ted's nephew. I said, who? He said, Ralph and Smiley and Kurt. Man.
Yeah, yeah,
I said, yeah, all right, okay. And then
yeah,
I found out that way as well,
yeah, yeah.
and I had the honor to play with them guys out there,
Right. Oh man,
you know, Joe
they
Carl,
Teddy.
Skeeter,
Yeah, yeah. Skeeter,
Jimmy, was it Jimmy?
Jimmy
Rest in
Hall,
peace.
Jimmy Hall,
No,
Jimmy.
no, I ain't played with Jimmy Hall. Jimmy Nye.
Yeah, Jimmy. I know you're talking about Jimmy. Yeah, I know you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
but
Theodore's boy. He played with him everywhere he went.
right.
He was Theodore's boy.
So let me bring this on home. Both of you, I get to see during a special weekend. What is the significance, Ralph, of giving back to your high school?
Well, for me, I haven't given back to my high school in years, and the significance for me is continuing to leave a legacy back there. Like I told you before, Donnie, I've raised money all over this country for different people and different things, and I want to give back. Like I told Timmy, I got to give back to his organization too as well because um, it was special to my dad. It was very special to him. No matter what he was doing or where he was at, he was going to make that cookout. I don't care if it came hell or high water. He was going to make
Your
that
dad
cookout.
was there?
My dad was there
no,
a year ago. A year
Oh,
ago.
until yeah,
To a
yeah.
year ago, he was there, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
always there. And he loved it because he got an opportunity. He didn't get out a lot, but he got an opportunity to see everybody he wanted to see all in one day. So the significance this year was that the year before that, Jimmy Hall, Bill Jones, who happens to be my godfather, and him
Mm,
took a picture. They took a picture of the first big three in the area. That was the first big three in 1962. And they took that picture, and then they turned around again this year, and they put me in the middle like he was, and said,
right.
"We want to keep this tradition going. This we want to put you in here." And they took that picture again, the same picture with me in the middle, saying it was the big three, and that meant a lot to me. But giving back to my high school, getting back to that, it's giving back to people and giving them the opportunity to do what I did. And that's really what it all comes down to. I want young people in Baltimore to have the opportunity to do what I did. And the way you do that is you get because somebody did it for me. That projects, we saw baseball games, we saw hockey games, we saw Bullets basketball games,
Basketball.
we saw everything. And
Mm,
to this day, I can't tell you who paid for it, but we got there by bus. They fed us. We came back
mhm.
home. They got us home, and people don't understand that helped build character in me, and it also helped build character in all of us. When we went out, you had to act right. You couldn't sit in your chair, but you enjoyed the game. You got a chance to see a Major League Baseball game. Got a chance to see an NBA game. You got a chance to see an NFL game. I just want to make sure those kids understand the importance of that. And a lot of kids don't leave that mile block radius in Lafayette Projects, Timmy. They didn't leave. They, they
Yeah.
they never got out of that. Donnie, I
Hmm.
mean, guys never got out of their whole life. It was guys that
Hmm.
couldn't tell you what the west side of Baltimore looked like
yeah,
because
you
they
mentioned
never went there.
Mondawmin. That's not always the most. That's not the first thing that comes to an East Sider's mind.
No, no, and it's not even the
Hmm.
first thing to come to a kid growing up in Lafayette Projects. If I go past Gay Street, I'm outside my district because I'm in Latrobe. If I go too
Hmm.
far over here past Dunbar, I'm in Somerset.
Right.
I got problems. If I go too far south, I'm in Flag House. I may not
Hmm.
make it home. And if I go up a little bit further past the maintenance shop, I'm in another project. So that limiting spot of less than a mile block until you get outside of that and realize the world is different, it's crazy. I didn't do that until I was 17 and headed to five-star basketball camp with Coach Wade. I never
Mhm.
went past Poly on the highway. I never went past Poly. I never made the Northern Parkway. The first time I ever did that was going to Pittsburgh with Coach Wade. We went by Poly. I was like, I've never been past here before. I'm
Wow.
17 years old. I've
Wow.
never been past Poly going up that highway. I didn't know anything past. I didn't even know the highway went out to 70 and 70 went through the mountains. I never knew
Mhm.
that. 17 years old was the first time I got outside of Baltimore to Pittsburgh. I went to DC's course, school. I went to Philadelphia school. Those things you went with a school ride. But you talk
Mhm.
about going west, I never went past Emerson High School that I went with Mr. Wade. I never went past Emerson High School. Think about that. 17 years old, playing basketball, known throughout the country for playing basketball, but never went past Emerson High School and never went past Poly on the Parkway.
Wow.
New York was the farthest I went north. That's
Timmy,
crazy.
giving back. Tell me about giving back.
Just keep giving back, man. I think it's
Well,
important. I think it's important. Timmy gives back.
for
Timmy's
me,
not giving back monetarily. Timmy's giving back money. He's giving back memories, things
yeah,
that people can never take away.
I don't have the status of Ralph Lee. You know what I mean? I wish I had that status. I could get back monetary. Now I have at some
Right.
point, but not the way that, of course, I would like. For me, Donnie, now having a grandson that's attending there, it's some things that I know far as being an alumni, now an older person who see things that this is how you did what you did when you were at that age and point. And I would love to go back as just something simple as a hall monitor to instill in these kids what you're doing, what I'm saying you do, ma'am, sir. I was there. I was in your shoes. And sometimes being in your shoes can hurt you more than help you because you think that it's cool. It's not cool because at the end of the day, they're starting these kids off now taking the SATs in the ninth grade. Bro, we didn't take the SAT until I was in the 12th.
That's right.
We
Well,
had no introduction of
no.
trying to start you out early to show you here's the steps that you're going to have to take if you want. And they're telling you you can take these courses. You don't have to go to college. But if you decide to go, you already done started. Whereas a lot of schools may not have their kids doing that.
Right.
And that's,
Right.
something small to some people, but that's like I tell my grandson, coach class. Ralph, we ain't had no coach class.
No. No.
You getting opportunity of what you're not learning. Those now he has 4 classes. It's an hour and 45 minutes for a ninth grader.
Yeah.
Come on, man, it's hard on the teacher.
Right.
Can you
Let's go an hour
imagine?
and 45 minutes.
Yeah, you coming from middle school and sitting in the class for an hour, almost 2 hours. Now, how much you gonna comprehend all depends to the kid.
Right. And
But
in college, you don't go before hour 15. You go either 55 or hour 15. That's all you do.
exactly, or
That's
less,
55. Right. It's
you know.
55 or hour 15. That's the most they do.
And my other ways of help giving back, and I tried to give back even when his brother was coaching, Smiley.
Hmm.
And I wanted to just show these kids that you don't have to be 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" to get a rebound, to block a shot, to play defense. You know, this was something that I was going to take time out of carrying mail for 10 hours to come back to give back.
Yep.
But, you know, he was the only one, and I ain't saying because Ralph was sitting there, but he was the only one out of the coaches for the last, what, 2 or 3 coaches that they had that say, sure, come on back. And Keith Booth was going to allow me to do that as well.
Right.
But of
Because
course,
they understand that
yeah,
difference of giving back. They understand that you are a legend in that school. And whatever you want to come back and give something, they have to accept that. Hey, whatever you want to do. That has always been my thing with guys when I was coaching in high school. Whatever you want to do, you want to come back and talk to the kids, come back. You want to do this. If I have something for you to do, I'm going to tell you. But again, Timmy, don't downplay what I think is the most important thing you give back to this community. You're giving back memories, things that
For
nobody can
love.
ever take. Nobody
and
can ever take those away. Those Saturdays are Saturdays that are embedded in my mind and in
mm,
Donnie's mind, because Donnie keeps saying, you can't understand what you have given to so many people that it's memories. It's not about
mm,
money. It's not about anything else. It's memories, because nobody can take those away from them. And the memories that you create on that Saturday, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I created a memory on the Saturday I came back this year. I met JoJo Hunter.
yeah, yeah,
I met
yeah,
JoJo Hunter. That was
yeah,
my dog at Maryland. That's my dog. I
yeah,
met JoJo Hunter. You know what he asked me? Hey man, give me your brother's number, man. I got to try to get a hold of Kurt. I'm like, you know Kurt like that?
yeah,
This is
yeah.
my dog. But
He's
that's a
been to
memory.
yeah, he's been to several of them.
Yeah.
Him,
And I said, hey JoJo, let me ask you a question. Can you do this in DC? He said, hell no, we can't do this in DC, man. We can't do it in DC.
eh,
He said,
well,
I said, but if y'all did it, you'll have a lot of players. He said, man, I've been coming over here and I'm looking at this. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen from a basketball community I've ever seen. And that's what I
now,
want
Ralph.
you not to downplay, because you are doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ralph, I appreciate it, and Donnie know because he always say my event, and I had to always correct him. It's our event.
Right,
It's not my event. It's one Baltimore's event.
right.
But Joe is wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why he's wrong. They give a cookout every year, and next time you talk to Ernie, ask Ernie down there at Haynes Point.
Okay.
And Coach, rest in peace, from over, DC, Coach Butch McAdams, he would invite us to come over there. Well, I passed the
Really?
word, huh?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they give a cookout. It's always been the week before our cookout.
Do you go?
I've only been at one time.
Well, we got to go next year. Ralph, you
And
coming back next year, God
Yeah.
willing?
Yeah, I
and
will be back.
and they're millionaires over there. You don't see them taking a box around. Their millionaires fund their cookout.
Right, right.
So on that note, let me throw this at you. Ralph, did you know the CIAA is here?
Yep, I do.
And did you know it's extended to 2029?
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
That just came out like 2 months ago, that news.
Yeah.
I think I don't know your schedule, but I want you to, let's look at that CIAA, because what I told them, and I say this respectfully, you're having CIAA in Baltimore. No Morgan and Coppin, neither one is in CIAA, but you're in a basketball town.
Yeah.
And having seen what I've seen at one Baltimore event, and I say that respectfully, Timmy, and at the Cloverdale event, having and Dr. Heyman, we have to have more of a presence. There has to be a stronger presence of Baltimore basketball legends, including Coach Bob Wade at CIAA. You can't come to Baltimore and not acknowledge we have to somehow incorporate our Baltimore basketball legends in CIAA. That's my thought.
And there's a lot of Baltimore legends that played in the CIAA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of legends that played in the CIAA. Duke and Cole played in the CIAA.
Lord, and Derwin Lilly,
Yo and Lillard. Yep.
Joe McDaniels.
Yep.
It's Love. Leon them played in
Look,
CIAA.
Yep. Yep. It's a
Boy,
lot of
Rainbow Thomas. It's a whole bunch of them.
yeah.
And
Played
your
in the
your last marching order is this: if you two gentlemen don't start putting your information and knowledge on that computer so that we can get y'all books out there on the market, because I don't want to read about East Baltimore basketball from a Puerto Rican cat from Brooklyn. I want to hear Baltimore, right? Baltimore.
Ain't that sad?
Ain't
It's
that sad?
always an outsider try to tell. They tell a story, but won't and give the history that
Right.
needs to be told. And I've always, and I'm gonna keep trying, even though he's not in his best of health, Mr. Cleve and Doc Heyman, and even Bill Harris. Those three guys, they the last three historians that's left, man.
Ralph, we have to capture their
Their
essence.
their essence. Yep.
Maybe
Well,
we can
you know
all
the
focus.
best way. You know the best way to capture that is to have my man go over there with that camera and sit down and just talk to him.
He's done that. Harry,
Harry, just have Harry
he's
go
done
do it.
that.
Yep.
I went over there with him with Mr. Cleve, and that was almost a 3 hour
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
down with him, man.
But you got the history now. You got
Yeah,
that.
he just haven't put it all together
Right.
to put it
It's,
out there.
yeah.
But I'm not sure whether he got your father, but I know he got a lot of them guys, man. And
Yeah.
I want to say I think he got your dad too,
He
man.
did. He did. He got him. He got him when he
Yeah.
came to get his ring. He sat him down and talked to him. And
Okay.
he talked to him then. He talked to him a long time about
Who is
his
Harry?
Harry Chappelle, he's alumni.
right. His alumni. Yeah.
He he has his own business, uh All Points Graphics, something like that, up there
Right.
off of Rosalie and Harford Road.
Right.
And he does our paraphernalia. He'll even make you up a Easterwood shirt, man.
I want a Dunbar jacket. That's what I want. I want one of them. Hey,
Well,
Ralph, of all of the things, that Dunbar basketball jacket, oh my God, the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
and,
Oh,
and Ralph, you talking about giving back? I'm giving back, right? 52 years, Dunbar has never honored our 1973 basketball team, man.
never?
Never,
Ralph, we got to fix that.
I gotta fix
never,
that. I'm gonna fix that, Timmy.
We got to
I gotta
fix
never.
that.
fix that.
That's a
I gotta
layer.
And
fix that. That's a
here,
layer.
Larry, Petey Butler, and Winfrey Cherry, they all passed in the same year. They gone.
Yeah, but
Ain't that many of
that's
us left?
crazy. Y'all get more love outside of Dunbar than y'all get in
Thank you.
Germandale.
I
Y'all
say
get
it
more.
all the
Y'all get
time.
y'all get more love in the country outside. When I talk to those guys from DC, that's the first thing they talk about is when y'all beat Adrian up.
Yeah,
Hey
yeah.
Donnie, here's a funny story about them beating Adrian now. Timmy gonna hate me for telling
Adrian
this.
Dantley,
Yeah, when they beat Adrian Dantley, right? Them Baltimore cats went to the Boston shootout. Guess who they met in the finals in the Boston shootout? DC. Guess what he did? Mr. Howell told me he came out, didn't shake none of y'all hands, Tim. He said, I'm not shaking no
No,
hands.
I didn't play.
You didn't
I
play.
was too old.
He went
No,
up
I
there,
wasn't. You
man.
know what? I wasn't too old, Ralph. I was getting ready to go to college.
Okay.
And see, skipping them,
Skip went up
skipping them
there.
played. Yeah.
Yeah. He went up there,
Uh-huh.
Donnie. He wouldn't shake none of their hands. He came out and gave him
Yeah.
like 50. He destroyed them, man. He was still mad from when they got beat down in the Civic Center. See, Adrian went to work on us. And that made him and Mr. Howell tight. You know, that's what made Mr. Howell became really tight. Because after the game, he started talking to Mr. Howell. He said, man, I was so mad, man, when they beat us, man. Then I heard we were playing y'all in the championship. I was just ready. I was ready. So he
Yeah.
he he destroyed us, Donnie, in the championship, man. My boys came back second place in the Boston shootout. I was like, man, that ain't right. Mr. Howell was telling us the story, like, yeah, man, he didn't shake nobody's hand, man. He destroyed us, man.
I've
So
Mhm.
learned yet another piece of Baltimore basketball history. Gentlemen, thank you very much for
thank
joining
you.
us. Any
Thank
final
you.
thoughts that you want to put your
No, I
anything?
just want to say this before I go. Timmy Green and Donnie, you guys both are doing great things and continue. My thing is always continue to give great
Thank you.
memories because we can't erase those memories, man. We can erase money goes and comes, but if you're giving great memories, and Timmy, I think that day on Baltimore One is probably the most memorable day throughout the year. And you got guys coming from all over the country to come in
Yeah.
there, just to be in there for 5 or 6 hours and stand there for 5 or 6 hours and do that. But you can mark me off for a donation next year for that thing, because I'm giving back to that definitely. And as my poly boys continue to grow this other thing we're working on, we're gonna support you as well with that too. So,
Thank you.
Donnie, thanks as always, man. I'm always here for you. Just let me know. All right.
Thank you, big brother. Thank you,
Y'all take
Timmy.
care. Y'all take care.
All right.
Good
All
Love
evening.
right.
y'all.
Love
Love
you.
you back, big brother. Thanks, Timmy.